Welcome to Change Starts Here, a Franklin Covey education podcast for K-12 leaders driving meaningful change through bold thinking, real stories, and proven strategies for lasting impact. Now here's your host, Dustin Odham.
Welcome back to the Change Starts Here podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Odham. Today, we're diving into a quality that rarely tops the list when people talk about leadership, but maybe it should. We're talking about gratitude, what it really means to lead with it, live it, and use it to strengthen the culture around you. Stick around as we explore why gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a leadership skill, one that builds trust, deepens relationship, and changes the way we show up for others. Let's get started. Let's start with a simple question. When you hear the word leadership, what's the first quality that comes to mind? Is it courage, vision, strategy? Maybe it's communication. Those are all great answers, but the one that rarely makes the list that I think should be there is gratitude. And yet, if we're honest, our world, our schools, our teams, and even our homes are starving for it. We live in a culture that celebrates speed and output, but often overlooks appreciation and presence. We measure success by the results we achieve instead of the relationships we strengthen. And here's the problem. Without gratitude, leadership becomes mechanical. It becomes about performance, not people. Without gratitude, we lose the very thing that makes leadership human. Now, I've certainly had my seasons in my own life where I felt like I was achieving like crazy, but I wasn't slowing down enough to say thank you. And it cost me. It cost me connection, cost me perspective, and it cost me relationships. Because when you stop practicing gratitude, you stop noticing what's good. You start seeing problems instead of people. You start seeing tasks instead of teammates, and you start seeing pressure instead of purpose. And I'll be the first to admit, I've had to relearn this lesson more than one time in my life. But one of the best teachers I've ever had on the subject of gratitude was Dr. Stephen Covey. And I remember him saying early on that next to physical survival, the greatest need of a human being is psychological survival. To be understood, to be affirmed, to be validated, and to be appreciated. To me, that's powerful. Appreciation isn't optional, it's oxygen. It's not a soft skill, it's a leadership skill. And the best leaders I know don't just feel grateful, they express gratitude proactively, intentionally, and urgently. And here's what I've learned over time. If gratitude doesn't get out of your head, it dies there. You have to act on it. You have to give it away. And the faster that you give it away, the more impact that it has. Now, if you've ever spent much time around me, you know I have this somewhat crazy little habit. My wife will tell you it absolutely drives her crazy. I call people, like immediately. Someone pops into my head and I think I should call them. So I do. And it doesn't matter if it's been 6 months since I've talked to the person, 6 weeks, 6 years. My life will look at me and give me that kind of look and just think, are you seriously going to do this right now? And every single time I say, yep. Because I've learned when someone comes to mind, it's not random. It's a cue. It's a whispering saying, hey, go love that person right now. And I'm sure I'd say 9 times out of 10, the person on the other end says, wow, I can't believe you called. You have no idea how much I needed this today. And my wife, bless her heart, every time I feel like she just shakes her head, smiles, and just kind of says, okay, you might be right. Because honestly, she hears it too. The excitement, the relief, the connection that happens when you act on gratitude instead of postponing it. Be proactive is the first of the 7 habits for a reason. We all have the power to choose our actions, and gratitude is one of those choices. It's a proactive form of leadership. It says, I'm not waiting for Thanksgiving to appreciate people. I'm not waiting for tragedy to tell someone they matter. I'm not waiting for the perfect time. I'm going to create that moment right this very minute. And every time you do that, you make a deposit in someone's emotional bank account. And you all know that's where trust is built, on consistent deposits of appreciation, respect, and care. Gratitude builds trust faster than any strategic plan ever could. And it's not sentimental, it's actually smart leadership. I have a friend named Matt who takes this form of leadership very seriously. Matt is what I would call a professional note writer. Not emails, not texts, although he loves those, real notes with pen, paper, and envelopes. Every week, he writes a handful of them to friends, to coworkers, to mentors, to family members. And people actually keep these notes. I do. Some of them post them on bulletin boards. Some of them even frame them. Because in a world full of instant messages, a handwritten note says, I cared enough to slow down. I cared enough to see you. And that's what great leaders do. They make people feel valued. Matt invests time, money, and energy to do something that most people skip. And every time I get a note from him, I walk away or I feel inspired to raise my own bar. And I think it's because gratitude multiplies. When you express it genuinely, you inspire others to do the same. And I'm not saying you need to buy a fancy stationery and sign your name with a wax seal like Ben Franklin, but we can all do better than the text that says, hey, bro, or hey, girl, I appreciate you. Because to me, that's not gratitude. That's autopilot. And autopilot rarely, if ever, changes lives. I've often heard love described as a verb. And I believe gratitude is too. It's not something you feel. It's something that you do. And when you do it, it grows. You want to feel more joy? Express more gratitude. You want to build a team that trusts each other? Express more gratitude. You want to create a home that laughs more and complains less? You guessed it. Express more gratitude. As leaders, we must focus on things that we can control. And at Franklin Covey, we refer to that as our circle of influence. And you know what is always in that circle? Gratitude. You can't control how people treat you. You can't control if they say thank you back. But you can control whether you express gratitude sincerely, consistently, maybe even creatively. And here's the twist. When you stop waiting to receive gratitude and start giving it, you suddenly find way more of it coming back to you. Because appreciation seems to attract appreciation. So here's my challenge for you this month. Every time someone pops into your head, call them. Not text, not email, call. Hear their voice. Let them hear yours. They don't answer, leave a message. I know people don't check voicemails, but tell them why they matter. And if you want to go old school like Matt, write them a note, a real one. Tell them why tell them how, I guess, they've influenced you. Tell them that you've noticed them and what you specifically notice about them. And tell them thank you, specifically and sincerely. Because you never know that one message or note might be the very thing that keeps them going. And if you're someone who likes to have fun with it all, it doesn't have to be too much. It doesn't have to be a lot. Leave a sticky note of encouragement on a coworker's desk. Send a teacher their favorite coffee drink and a thank you card. I have a friend who loves to record short videos and send them. Do that. If you want to bring your kids into that, tell your kids what you're grateful for, and then have them help you tell that person. Simple acts lead to big ripples because gratitude, when expressed, creates movement. One of my favorite Dr. Covey quotes is, "To touch the soul of another human being is to walk on holy ground." That's what gratitude does. It touches the soul of another human being. So don't just feel thankful this month, be thankful. Don't just think about people, reach out to them. And don't just post about gratitude, practice it. Because gratitude unspoken is gratitude unfinished. And when you act on it, when you make the call, when you write the note, when you speak the word, you start to change the atmosphere around you. So who's on your mind right now? Who do you need to thank? Don't wait. Don't wait. Gratitude doesn't grow in silence. It grows when you act on it. Pick up the phone, write the note, send the message. I often hear that gratitude is just about being polite. I don't think it's just polite. I believe it's powerful. It changes people and it changes culture. To help you live that out this month, we've included a free resource. It's not anything too crazy, but it's in the episode description, and it's a short, practical guide that we lovingly call the Gratitude Playbook. Inside, you'll find, like simple creative ideas, a tracking mechanism so that you can start practicing gratitude at home with your team, in your classroom, throughout your community. I would just say, think of it as your go-to guide for turning good intentions into meaningful action. And as always, I just want you to know, if this conversation spoke to you, if it made you pause, if it made you smile, or it made you think of someone you want to appreciate, make sure you follow or subscribe wherever you listen. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you are. That way, you'll automatically get every new episode filled with what I hope and believe are fresh new ideas, research, and real stories that fuel your leadership. And I would say, even more importantly, your life. Let's make this month one where gratitude moves, where every thank you becomes a spark for something bigger. This is Change Starts Here. I can't thank you enough for being a part of our community of legacy builders. It's an honor and a privilege to be with you every week. Until next time, keep leading with heart and letting gratitude guide the way.
Franklin Covey Education is a trusted partner in developing leaders from the classroom to the boardroom in over 8,000 schools in over 70 countries.